This video is about two amazing cultural differences between Latin America and I could say or everywhere else. It'd be Latin America and mostly gringos, U.S. citizens, maybe Canadians and other English-speaking cultures. And one of these cultural differences is having lived in Latin America for almost a decade. So the number one thing is laughter. The non-North Americans, they perceive laughter as if you're laughing at them. When it comes to a cultural interaction with people, you don't really want to be stepping on people's toes and if you can help it. So laughter, and laughter comes across, like when I was in Ecuador, and I've seen it even in Italy, and I've seen other people do it in other developing countries, comes across as you're laughing at them. Now guys, if you're from a developing country, if you're from Asia or South America, Ecuador, Mexico, even Italy, yes, even Italy. I don't know about the rest of Europe, because I like to talk about things I've actually experienced or have seen people I know experience. So I'm not going to paint a wide brush and say everybody in Europe, because I don't know that myself. But somebody can chime in the comments and let us know what it's like there. But you would have to be a North American to know it. What you guys need to know is that Americans laugh when they're happy, when they're content, and it has nothing to do with laughing at you. So when you see somebody laughing in any context that has to do with interaction with you, whether it's on video or in person or whatever, even on our videos, when we laugh, we're not laughing at you. Americans aren't laughing at you when you're with them and they're laughing. They're just laughing because they're happy, they're content, they're happy about something, and that's why they laughed. It's a contentment laughter, it's a happy laughter. So it's not related to you, and they're not making fun of you. So that's one thing that you run into. So, and it's really hard to avoid it, because again, it's just something that happens really naturally, especially for those of us that are content and happy. We just kind of tend to chuckle and laugh even at something that's not funny. It may not seem funny, but we find something to be content about the thing that we're laughing about, and it's not the other person in the other culture. Okay, so again, if you're from those other countries, Americans aren't laughing at you just because they're talking about cappuccino and laughing. They're not laughing about you and your cappuccinos. They're just laughing because they actually like cappuccinos. Okay, so the other one is pleasantries and politeness. Now, I've made videos about how important and foundational it is, especially once you leave USA, how crucial it is to have politeness and pleasantries. And I've gone into detail in other videos and other publications and books that we've written. And so the politeness, though, it's easy enough to know that, okay, well, say good morning, good afternoon. But here's my experience on this, is that when you're in Latin America, demographically speaking, if you're part of a demographic that is a minority in the place that you're at, there's always this issue of a reminder. Like when you go out, for the first few years we were in Ecuador, since we're so home-based, when we would go out of the house, we would get reminded every time we went out of the house. We would say to ourselves, oh yeah, we're in Ecuador. So I'm saying that this constant reminder is there when you're demographically a minority in a country, and because of that reminder, there's a tendency to have that extra politeness, even though I have said in some videos that I always forget. And that's because it does have to be done at certain times, which is like when you enter a store and all that. But generally speaking, if I remembered to have the pleasantry and the politeness, I mean, I usually would have it at some point or another. It's just that I did have difficulty with remembering every single time. So, but the intention was always there to be polite, and the awareness was always there. Fast forward to being in Italy, where, for example, if you, and this is different for different people, you could be completely demographically a minority in Europe and not in South America or Central America. As someone that is demographically speaking, supposedly somebody that would blend in, what that does, though, that it has this underlying in your conscience that you feel as if everybody's like you, at least superficially, from appearances, and therefore there's not that it's just something you got to live it to understand it, I think. And it's like I don't need to have the pleasantry because I'm not being reminded that I'm different and I need to, you know, maybe make an extra effort. You go out of the house and you're thinking about yourself, and because you blend in, you're not being reminded that of any difference there. I'm just saying that the difference is a kind of reminder, and when it's not there, it's easy to let it slip, and therefore I still have to remind myself, even in Italy, to be pleasant, say buongiorno, and yes, I still do see consequences if I don't do it, even in Italy. So this is definitely something that applies clearly, not necessarily in just one continent or one country, but it applies 100% when you leave the United States. All right, and with that, thanks for following our channel. If you're new, please subscribe. You know what to do if you like the video, and have a nice day.